I needed to hear that, like this moment. I feel like everything I'm doing is like on autopilot. It's like, how can I be the best mom? How can I be the best wife? And how can I be the best friend? And it's
You are
like,
amazing at all of those things.
I can cry because it's like I received what you said, even though it's for them.
It's for everybody. We're all in
Yeah,
this together. We're all growing
yeah,
together. You are amazing in everything. You
yeah,
need to value your life because
yeah.
your
Love
life
you.
is valuable to me. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mental Uplift Podcast, a faith-based podcast where we talk about mental health, self-care, and everything life-related. I am your host, Joey.
And I'm your host, Britney.
And today we are going to be diving into the topic of the value of your life. So
Yeah.
overall, we're going to be touching base on the value of life itself and embracing everything that comes with it and just kind of diving into that.
Yep. Emphasis on the fact that you're worthy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So first things first, as we always do, provide a little bit of insight
Yeah.
on what I believe about this topic and kind of just show where my mindset is moving forward. So if you think about it literally, you can't put a value to a life because, literally a life is immeasurable. It's like you can't put a price. If you're thinking about value as like a price or anything, you literally can't put a price.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you can definitely place a prioritization
Yeah.
on your life.
Yeah.
And you
For
can
sure.
prioritize and put your life at a high level above other things. Like would you value your car more than your
No.
life or your house more than your
Yeah. No.
life?
No.
So yeah, so that's kind of like where my mindset is like going
Yeah.
into this topic. It's like, no, you cannot put a specific value on a life, but you can prioritize a life
Right.
and value it higher than other things in the world that, some people value highly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Nice perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
Yeah.
something that you deem valuable, you take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for you, what does it look like to value your life so much that you take care of it?
For me, I guess the way I care for myself is like maintaining a good mental health meter balance, so like doing self-care when I have the time as a mom, to taking the time to like get into the word. That's a form of like self-care for me. I feel like
Yeah.
I get in the word, I'm fueled, I'm ready to go. I know, like caring for my body, like physically, like kind of watching what I eat,
Yeah.
because I mean, I'm saying that, but I eat a lot of bulldog noodles. But
Yeah.
as of lately, being more intentional is like not putting so many like we've been cooking more than ever before.
We have.
Because it's convenient to just get like fast food and like, but is that really nourishing your body and caring for your temple? No.
Yeah.
So that's how I would say, maintaining my well-being.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm caring for myself.
Yeah. Well, I literally have like the same exact thing.
That's good.
Like when it comes to it, I have exercising.
Yeah.
Because you have to make sure you're physically equipped for life, and you have to, when you take care of yourself, you want to make sure your body is healthy.
Yeah.
And exercising is one of the best ways to ensure that you're healthy and equipped. And then I have self-care, which could be like, going to the nail salon for the females, going to the barber shop for the males, just taking care of yourself, because when you do that, it instills confidence.
Yeah.
So that plays a role in you caring for yourself, because when you have that confidence, when you're feeling yourself, you carry yourself with you carry yourself differently, with more of a positive light, and it overall affects your mental health. So it's very important. If you're gonna value your life and you're gonna say that my life is a high priority, then you definitely need to make time for self care, because it plays a big role in overall
Yeah.
mental health.
It really does. I remember saying that to you, like for me, where I was like, my nails, like your fingers, if you look at the size of your fingertips, they're like your fingernails, they're so small. But like for me, when my nails are done, it'll make or break my entire like weekend, my week,
Yeah.
or like my eyebrows, a small feature. If I feel like they're like they need to be done and they're not done, it's gonna affect me. It's little things like that
Yeah, for
that'll affect your mental, and like other people are not looking at my eyebrows. If you are, shame on you. But for me, it's like the little things, like,
yeah,
really caring for yourself. You deserve that
it
to make sure
is.
you care for yourself. So,
It is. Okay, and then the last thing I have is spiritual training.
okay.
So we all know it's important to be healthy, go to the gym and work out, but it's
Mhm.
also good to work your spiritual
Of
health
course, yeah.
and strength and everything. So making it a point to not only get fed on Sundays, but to ensure you're doing your own work in
Yeah.
your own home, making sure, like one time it was said that going on Sundays and Thursdays is like your overtime,
Mhm.
and you're supposed to be putting in the regular work in your home for
Yeah.
yourself. So that's definitely something good. I actually have a verse here that's kind of related to that I want to share. It is 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 8. It says, physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better, promising benefits in this life and in the life to come. So that clearly shows you, like, yeah, you physical train and you work your body out. That's great. But when
Mhm.
you train for spiritual godliness,
Mhm.
that's gonna be even better, and that's gonna take you a long way. Like
Yeah.
you not only are setting yourself up good in this world, but even after that, like you're setting yourself up for your eternal life in
Yeah.
heaven. So it's important. And again, it all ties into overall, like what we've have discussed on here before,
Mhm.
where we said, like, when you are in a good place spiritually, then it overall helps you feel strong, knowing that you can easily tackle anything that comes your way and you can
Mhm.
keep pushing. So overall, your spiritual training is very important for your
Yeah,
mental
it is.
health. If you're going to value your life, you need to value your spiritual training to make sure that you're equipped in this physical realm and the spiritual realm as well.
And it's like you can be the most buff person and like fit person, but if the inside's crooked and the inside's weak, it's doesn't matter how you look on the outside. So,
Exactly. And that's why I got a little bit of chubby chubs on me, but on the inside, I'm good on the inside. I'm trying.
but but on a serious note, it's like people like to maintain this image on the outside, but like the inside is like needs some major fixing. And
Your
I can speak to
character.
myself. Oh yeah, your character. Yeah. I can speak to myself sometimes where I'm like, I guess you could say like I mean, there's always things that I need to work on myself. But
I disagree.
no, like not like crazy things, but we all have room to
Yeah,
grow.
we do.
I don't try to portray myself a certain way, but sometimes I'll try to act stronger than what I really am, right? Or like not stronger than what I really am. Let me see. Hard, like
Yeah.
like that hard body type.
Yeah.
I would try, not anymore, not so much anymore. I would try to act like I don't care, but um, I guess the way that this ties in, it's like knowing inside is something different, and what's inside matters more than what you portray on the outside. So you
It
want to make
does.
sure they're equal, like,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
then again, not really equal. You need to be more spiritually, I feel like.
I think it could be equal.
You think so?
I feel like I feel like equal would mean that what you're truly on your inside is what you're showing on the outside.
Okay, okay, okay. I that's what I was getting at first. This is why I like the podcast because you get to see this is like a real conversation. Like we don't
Yeah.
rehearse, and so like this is like
Yeah.
raw conversation. I like that though because yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. That was good. That was good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
that's
write
what.
that down because at first I'm like a 50-50 thing sounds like but you want
Yeah,
yeah
because say if it was like 60 inside, 40 outside, that
yeah
means I'm 60% doing good on the inside, but only showing people 40%. And it's like,
Mm,
I mean, I don't know. Cause I guess if you think about it in that way, then it's like,
tricky, right?
what if I'm being kind of like, I don't know. Cause what if you're trying to be humble and it's like, I'm not trying to show stuff? Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It is tricky.
It's a tricky, yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
feel
I didn't
like
mean to throw anybody off. So sorry, but that was just
it's
my thought process.
I feel like overall, I'm sticking with I'm going to be equal inside and outside. What you see in outside is what I'm truly
Yeah.
reflecting on the inside. And if I'm being a butthole one day, then I apologize because sometimes that happens. Sometimes you may not be having a good day on the inside and it's showing on the outside. So that's another example. It's like really what you're going through on the inside
Yeah.
is going to reflect on the outside, whether it be good or not. So that's why you have to make sure you're good on the inside so that you can pour out goodness on the outside. Again, that's what I think 50-50 is good.
But you see what I was saying with what
Yeah.
I feel like I brought that up in a way where it was kind of complex and tricky. But I guess what I mean to say with all of this is like just be raw and transparent with who you are.
Yeah.
Because for example, like okay, I would portray myself as happy all of the time and no one knew I was struggling with like depression, anxiety, and all the things that I was struggling with. And I feel like there were so many people around me that were going through similar situations and no one's gonna know
Yeah.
what you're going through if you appear to be this happy, jolly, 24/7 person. And when you're in this walk as a believer, you have to be transparent with others with what you're going through and like how you feel because what you're going through is going to help someone else. So that's super important. And like you said, it's so deep to make sure you're starting the day off with your word. I know it can get very hard, like being a parent, especially a parent to little children. It's like you wake up and they're like, "Where are you at?" But
Yeah.
nonetheless, like I think for me, I spoke about this on a in our group last week was like being intentional on getting into the word even when it's hard because 10 times out of 10 when you do read the word when you don't feel like it is when God speaks to you the most. And you have to remember there is an enemy out there that's gonna like, oh, but you're tired, you're fatigued. Man, it's just one more hour to sleep in. No, that 1 hour, God could have spoken to you. Holy Spirit could have, spoken to you, took over everything. So
Yeah.
just being intentional on like caring for yourself spiritually above all. I
Yeah.
feel like
So
when I read the Bible, and I was like nicer to people on the phone at work. Like it sounds so like silly, but it's true. Like I read the Bible and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go a little extra today. So
it's
yeah,
because
it's super
you're
important.
filling your bucket of love with the word so that you can pour that out. It's
Yeah.
like what we've heard in the sermon before where they said like if you don't fill yourself up with love from the Lord, where are you pulling that from? You're pulling it from your flesh, but your flesh is only meant to go so far.
Yeah, that's deep.
So you're going to burn yourself out
Yeah.
and then now you're going to be stuck trying to give love while being burnt out.
Yeah.
So if you fill yourself up with that love from the Lord, you have an abundant amount of love to provide because you're not stealing from your
Yeah.
own bucket of love, your personal bucket of love.
Yeah, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So make sure you
Yeah.
fill up your cup with Jesus so you
Exactly.
can fill others.
So overall, if you value your life, those are one of the most important things. Make sure you're physically equipped. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you prioritize some self care time. Even if you're in relationships, you can have times together. But then it's also good to take some time for yourself sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. I have a few things I wanted to touch on. As we talk about like taking care of ourselves. I know one of the key words was like being worthy of that. And so I have a few things I want to touch base on is that sometimes we feel unworthy, but God calls us worthy, like of his love, of his grace, his mercy, everything. And so I wanted to talk about just the fact that the enemy will like instill lies when you're vulnerable, and some of those lies may look like, I guess, inducing like the feelings that like of guilt, shame. I'm not worthy of his love. I'm not worthy of, all that he has to bring and offer. But that's a lie. So we always call out the lies here. That's a lie. And so the enemy will try to like instill guilt, shame, fear, lies that you're not worthy, but you are worthy of life. And sometimes we hear that all the time in church, right?
Yeah.
Like, or on like reels and TikToks, but you really have to process that and receive it because you see it everywhere. You see it on like cute little posters and bookmarks, and anyway, you get the point. But I just want to remind you that God really sent his one and only son to die on the cross for you, like, and for your sins.
Yeah.
And you're forgiven and you're loved and you are made for more. And so just valuing that and understanding how important your life is. And I have here a verse as well.
Nice.
Okay. So again, putting emphasis on the fact that you are worthy of his love, his mercy, his grace, his forgiveness. And when you receive that, you're able to in turn do those things for others. And then you're valuing not only your life, but other people's lives,
Exactly.
So
Because the value of life in general is important.
exactly. How can you value someone else's life when you can't even value your own?
Yeah.
How can you value your friend's life, but you can't really value your own or your spouse? Like if I don't understand the true value that I have, how do I know that I'm valuing my husband?
Exactly. That's really good.
So when we understand how much an individual means to God, then we have a better understanding of how much they should mean to us.
Yeah.
So I have a verse. So it is Luke 12, verses 6 and 7. So the verse is, what is the price of 5 sparrows, 2 copper coins? Yet God does not forget a single one of them. And the very hairs on your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. First of all, I have a lot of hair, okay?
Yeah.
So for God to know that God really knows like the amount of like even if I'm sorry, that's just like processing that again after like I already read it before, but just the emphasizing the fact that like he really knew you before you were in the womb. Like there's a verse about that. Like he knew your name. Like he wrote everything about you. He created you. Like he loves you. Like
He created you with extreme detail and care.
yes.
So if he cares, that much to remember how many hair follicles you have
Like
on your head, then it's like that's extreme value that he put
yes.
into creating you, which again shows you like that's really perfect because it shows
Yeah.
you the value that you were made with. So you should take that value every day and remember that and know that your life
Mhm.
is so valuable. You were not just thrown together and sent out there onto the like sales floor. Like you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
made perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
And so, like, looking at the verse, one thing to note was like the sparrow. It's just a non special bird, just a bird. And it says here, what is the price of 5 sparrows, 2 copper coins? Yet God does not forget a single one of them. Birds like small, tiny birds. But if he didn't forget the birds, imagine you that he created you with such detail. Like,
Yeah.
not saying he didn't create the bird with detail. I'm sure he picked their feathers out, in a certain way, but just goes to show like God really took the time to create you the way he designed you to be.
Yeah.
And so,
I feel like that part is really it's giving you an example and stressing
mhm.
that something cheap is memorable in God's eyes. So why wouldn't you be
Yeah.
memorable? Why wouldn't you be of value to him
Yeah.
if something like this? Like I guess in today's modern time you can say like what is the price of one of the mice you get at PetSmart. Like that's something that
Right.
we hold no value to. Like it's
Yeah.
probably cheap. People buy it to feed it to snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't like it. Like we don't hold any value to it. But God remembers that mouse. So it's like if He remembers that, then He remembers you, and you hold value for that.
And just knowing that, like, even like for myself, it changes the perspective. It shows how intimate your creation was. Like, he really sat there and said, like, oh, I'm gonna make Joey with curly hair, and I'm gonna make him with a beard, the full beard. And, like, he really, like, took the time. Like, I keep emphasizing that. Like, it's not to be taken lightly,
Yeah,
you know?
it's really
I
not.
feel like, again, today in today's society is like we overlook the fact of like everything that he did for us and he does for us. Like even as something as waking up in the morning, we take that for granted. Like you
Yeah,
woke up today because of him. And so I just want to make sure that you are worthy. I know sometimes it's hard to receive that when it's a compliment, but when it's written in the word that you were like just created with purpose and love and light and everything,
yeah,
like it's just so crazy. Like it's so hard to put into words. Like I could cry because he created my children, our kids, the same way. And it's like the perfect analogy is like the way I look at my kids and how much I love them and I admire their eye shape, their eyelids, like the smallest detail is so perfect to me. And that's exactly how God sees us. And I think I started to learn and receive more of God's love when we had our children because I got to envision, like, I got to see it. Like, okay, when our daughter gets hurt, oh, I need you.
yeah,
We saw like a good sidetrack, but
yeah,
um, like when a child needs their parents, it's like when they're hurt,
yeah.
it's when like they're hungry, they want to be fed. It's like the same way our children come to us. It's like how we go to God in a sense. So
I feel like for that too, like just to jump on top of that, for a parent, if you have forgotten your value and you think that you're less than, just remember exactly what she's talking about right now because you love your child. And I know like you value your child's life more than anything in the world and probably more than your own. But just remember that that love you have for your child, God loves you 10 times more. And if you are going to respect the Lord and you're going to say that He knows all and that He's always right, then you also have to believe He's right when He loves you and He says you're valuable. Then
hmm
it's like you're valuable then. And if you know the love of a parent and you know that He loves you even more than that, then it's like you should remind yourself like you can't say my kids are valuable, but also forget to value yourself.
wow,
So definitely remember that and just value your life because I know sometimes being a parent, you can get lost in that and forget yourself. So just remember that. And remember, again, your life is valuable. You should place it in a high priority because you need to make sure that you're good. So in turn, you can help others, help your kids, make
yeah,
sure everyone is good around you.
that's so good because it's funny you bring that up. Um, because I had a conversation where I feel like I talked about that briefly, where it's like I'm still trying to find my identity and who I am outside of being a mom. And like we'll go deeper into that in like future episodes. But I feel like to elaborate on what you said, it's like we take that role kind of so small. Oh, I'm a mom or I'm a dad. But like parenting is kingdom work. Like God calls you to instill faith and belief and everything into your children. It's like you have a duty, and as a parent, you're fulfilling those things,
Yeah.
and we do our best to fulfill them as best as we can. But it's so important, like to remember your worth as a parent, because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, the first thing I think of is like, I don't know, what are the kids gonna eat today? Well, what is Ava gonna eat today? You know, just different things like that. It's like I don't even take a second to think like, what am I gonna do for myself today?
Yeah.
Like you get lost into parenthood, so you are just as valuable, you know? So
Yeah.
that was really good because I needed to hear that, like this moment. I feel like everything I'm doing is like on autopilot.
Yeah.
It's like, how can I be the best mom? How can I be the best wife? And how can I be the best friend? And it's
You are
like,
amazing at all of those things.
I can cry because it's like I receive what you said, even though it's for them.
It's for everybody. We're all in
Yeah,
this together. We're all growing
yeah,
together. You are amazing in everything, and you
yeah,
need to value your life because
yeah.
your
Love
life
you.
is valuable to me.
Yeah, but I know someone out there is gonna receive it too, because if it's hitting this hard, somebody's gonna receive it. But um, it's really hard to value. Like, oh wow,
You're gonna make me cry.
it's like really hard, you know, to feel like I'm more than a mom, you know, or more
Yeah.
than a wife.
Oh, forget
Like,
these words.
like,
I love it.
you too. It was so good. I did the hear it.
I understand you. I do. Trust me.
No,
That's
then
how I'm able
what
to say
you?
it.
But yeah, like, oh, that was a super raw moment. It's hard to remember like your value before, you know, parenthood and
Yeah.
being a spouse. So yeah, that was important. Yeah, that was good. And somebody else out there is gonna receive it because I've had this conversation I think like twice
Yeah.
already in like the past month. So yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's all that I have. Like, like I emphasize the fact that God created you. Like for me, it was like seeing how He created and like the detail and everything He put into creating us.
Yeah.
And He created you that way. Also, yeah, wait, really, really deep. I briefly touched on it where once you realize how valuable you are as a person, you'll learn how valuable your loved ones are to you. And from a wife's perspective, because we all know as like a child, they're born to you. If this makes sense, like you automatically love them. Like your spouse, you choose to love them
Yeah. Yeah.
every single day. Like, well, I
Pick
feel
your
like
person.
yeah, like you pick your person. And so I feel like when I read this, I was like, wow, like he created me with all this love and care and detail, but he created you that way. And so it changes your perspective on how you will treat others. It's like, how could I be so rude or, you know, have so much sass and attitude towards someone that God also took his time creating? And also in the city that we live in, a lot of times we look at like homeless people or we see you know, like the situation with people on drugs and like we're quick to or I see a lot of people are quick to like post things on social media and just like they see others
Yeah.
as less valuable, but that person on Kensington is somebody's baby, you know, like someone's daughter, someone's son, nephew, mom, yeah, like, and that's deep. Like, so the next time you see someone struggling, I just challenge you to love on them and really think like God also created this person with so much the same love that he gave you and like you know you're blessed to be where you are, be that blessing in someone else's life
Yeah.
and truly show them like the love God gave to you, just give it to them
Yeah.
regardless of what they look like
Man,
or
even as simple as just like praying for them, like
literally,
you don't even have to go up to that person. Like
yeah,
you can be in the car if you see that. Like I know when I was younger, I'd see
yeah,
somebody dipping and it's like, yo, look at them
yeah,
dipping, they about to fall, they about to fall. But it's like
yeah,
that's childish. And that's not what we're called to be. Like now it's like I'll see somebody and I'm like, dang.
it's
I'm like,
devastating.
Lord, please help them. Like, take them out of this and stuff
Yeah.
because it's like it's a reality that's like that's somebody's real life. Like, it's not a
Mhm.
game. Like, their life led to that, and the only thing I can really do is just pray that they know how much they are worth and how important they are,
Yeah.
and that their life is meant for more, which. I can kind of can lead me into what I
Yeah.
have next. Is it's also a verse, and it kind of just tacks on to everything that we've just been talking about of being worthy and valuable in the eyes of the Lord. Um, so it is Jeremiah 29:11.
Oh, I know this one.
You do?
I think so. Yeah, we just memorized part of it, but go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope."
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I feel like this holds beauty, and it's a reminder because the Lord has plans for your life.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a disaster, and it's only to give you hope and just overall love and growth and everything. Okay, I want to do it. And my main thing when putting this down was to ensure that people know that their lives are valuable and that the Lord has a plan for your life, and this clearly shows you that it's not for disaster. And to stress it for those who may have suicidal thoughts and deal with suicidal ideation.
Hmm.
I think that's what it is. Where basically it's like you may have constant suicidal thoughts, and it's hard to get rid of them, and they may come like randomly.
Yeah.
For those people, it I am one of those people, and it is hard to think that your life has value in one of those moments, and you may think like, well, I'm not gonna say you may. We're here to share raw information and
Mhm.
relatable information, so I'm just gonna tell you what I think. In those moments, I think a lot of times where it's like, what am I truly here in this world for? What value do I bring to those around me? I'm like, if I was gone, there nothing would be worse. So it's like I'm putting, or the enemy's putting it something in my head, making me think that my life holds no value and that I'm not going to ever amount to anything or do anything good in this world. But this is a reminder that the plans that the Lord have for you are good and they're not for disaster. So in whatever moment that you're going through, remind yourself that your future has hope, no matter what you're currently going through. Your future has hope, and you will make it out, and you will grow, and you will see that. You will, once you're out of it, you will see the growth, and you will be able to use that to help others. Like me today,
Hmm.
sharing this to you when I could have not have been here today. So just use that as a reminder that your life holds value and the plans that are made for you are good. Because if things went differently before, none of this would have ever came to light, and
Mhm.
all of the people who have taken a piece of this already would have never gotten that piece
Yeah.
that they were able to take with them. So I'm overall super grateful for the Lord, and I glorify him every day because he's helped me grow and he's helped me learn some of this stuff that we're sharing with you. Like, it's not just stuff that I'm telling to you just to, sound good and
Mhm.
sound motivational.
Yeah.
It's real life stuff that I go through,
Mhm.
and this episode is so important to me because I don't think I've ever shared this with anybody other than Britney. So it's very important to me,
Incredible.
and I truly hope that it can mean something to somebody and truly save someone. Um, because you're not alone, and your life is valuable. Like, there is no way that I can truly stress it and the actual value that your life holds. Like, there is no words in the world that can truly reflect the value and prioritization that you should have for your life. No matter what you're going through, no matter how hard life looks. I've told myself a million times that my life isn't worth keeping, but it is. And I know that. And I'm saying that now, but I may not feel the same way in a week or two, because when you deal with the suicidal ideation, it comes up all the time.
Hmm.
But you just got to keep going. So you got to just keep swimming, keep going, and you're going to make it out.
Yeah. I'm very proud of you for sharing that because that is a very open, raw, transparent, just like thing to say, because we don't know who's watching this, right? So I'm very proud of you for sharing that because God calls us to share our testimony. And sometimes that looks different for everyone, but that is a big part of your testimony. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
I would not be where I am today if it were not for you, and my life would fall to shambles if you weren't here. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you more off camera, but you know, a lot of people, struggle with that, and they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And there's so much beauty in coming together with someone who does know, and experience something similar because you have that compassion for each other. You guys can share together and grow together and learn how to heal together.
Yeah.
So I am very proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was such an amazing episode.
It was.
I feel like I truly hope somebody's able to take this and you know that you're normal, you're valuable to us in our eyes, to the Lord in his eyes, and you should be valuable to yourself. Your life should be at high priority. You should make sure you take care of yourself. You should really recognize what the word says, and how much the Lord loves you and how valuable you are to him. And which means in turn you should be valuable to everybody, including yourself here.
Yeah, that's good. I hope that you guys receive every part. And let us know if there's anything that we can do. We always mention it in every video that we are here. We are an open space. A reminder, anything you tell us will stay right between us and the Lord. And we're here to guide you. We're here to pray for you. We're here to intercede on your behalf. If you ever need us to pray for you, let us know, and we'll pray for you. We're here for you guys. And if you're watching, thank you, because we're episodes in. So, and it's only getting better from here, and we're growing already from the first couple of episodes to now. There's so much growth already.
We are growing, and I just continue to ask everybody to just comment and share, any feedback at all. If you're enjoying this, if you want to see something else, if you want to see a specific topic, anything at all, it really would truly help us to know what we can do to serve you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so, so much for watching.
We love you guys so much, and we hope you have an amazing day. We hope you're able to be uplifted throughout your week. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Bye.